What's happening, Canopy growth traders and investors? It's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Also home to the best MJ community and the channel that was created by a retail investor for retail investors. Today is Thursday, November 7th. Hope you're doing well. In this video, we're going to do an earnings prep video for Canopy Growth's earnings tomorrow, and that's going to be for their Q2 2025 report. We'll discuss all of that and more. We'll also take a peek at the chart, what to expect in terms of price action in the days, weeks, months ahead. Not as reliable, the technicals and the chart, when you're going into an earnings report. That can always be skewed, always a gamble. So if you're going into tomorrow's earnings and you're looking to play that as a trade or a swing trade, just know that it's always a gamble. And generally, Canopy Growth's earnings are not that great. And I don't think it's going to change tomorrow. I don't think it's going to be, even for the next couple of quarters, it's probably going to be quite a while before we see any major changes in terms of profitability, et cetera. And we haven't even gotten any insight into CUSA, Canopy USA, and they're not supposed to, I think they're supposed to close on acreage sometime around spring 2025. So we won't get any insight into that for a while. So it's basically just going to be status quo, I think, for the next little bit. Before we get to it, make sure to smash the like. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell. You'll be notified on any future videos or live streams. You can also follow us over on X, formerly Twitter. Handle for that is @GroupPow. So Canopy Growth to report second quarter fiscal 2025 financial results, November 8th, 2024. This will be for the period ending September 30th, 2024, and it will be before the market opens tomorrow, November 8th. They'll also be having a conference call, and that will be tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. I'll do my best to join that call. I'm not 100% sure if I'll be able to make that happen, but if not, there's also going to be a replay, which will be accessible until February 6th. Moving along here, we also have other earnings coming in. So we have Green Thumb after hours today. I'll probably do a video detailing that, but we'll go over the estimates here and what to expect in terms of revenue and EPS for Canopy. But obviously, earnings season continues, and yeah, it's been less than awesome, that's for sure. But it's mostly the US MJ revenue that's been dropping off considerably. So we'll see if we can kind of turn the page here on some of these LPs. We also have Auxly set to report tomorrow before the financial markets open. And I'm going to be interviewing Hugo Alves, the CEO of Auxly. I posted that not too long ago. Actually, if we just go over here, community tab, you can see here, I posted about that. So if you have any questions, let me know. The interview will be on November 15th. And looking forward to that one. We'll see here if we kind of see a different trend on the Canadian side of things and the LP operators. So if we take a look at the analyst estimates, we got multiple different sources. You got investing.com. I like to look at the analysts here on Moomoo. This is based on 8 analysts in terms of the revenue and their EPS based on 4. So you get quite a few different opinions. And investing.com saying 64.2 million in terms of revenue, and a big drop off, right? Like it's been dropping for the last year or so, right? 78 million projected, 72, 70, 64. Then if we take a look at the actuals, 78.51, slight beat, but then 72.79, 66.2, big miss. And they're forecasting it even lower than the actual last quarter. So I think it has a lot to do with, these companies right-sizing their ship and getting rid of products and not just chasing any kind of revenue, just, focusing on margin, focusing on products, getting rid of products that aren't driving high margin and profitability. EPS, they're still looking at an atrocious number here, negative 0.4985. And then if we take a look at TradingView, it's pretty much the same thing there. And they're all kind of singing the same tune this time around. Even Moomoo, 64.62 million. And then EPS, again, negative 0.507. So if we add up all three of those, in terms of revenue, we're forecasting 64.341 million. So that'll be the number to look at. And that's in Canadian. They report in Canadian unless otherwise stated. So that'll be in Canadian dollars. Let's double check that. Unit CAD. Perfect. Okay. Just making sure. And then EPS negative 0.5015. So if the numbers come in tomorrow and EPS is negative 0.7, well, that's going to be a huge miss. And if, revenue comes in at 60 versus 64, it's going to be a huge miss. So stock could see a pretty big sell-off. And the whole sector has been weak, so it's not looking great. But if EPS comes in at negative 0.25 and comes in at 70 million revenue, well, that's a huge beat, and we could see a decent reaction. But overall, these earnings reports aren't seeing huge reactions from them lately, just because the whole sector just hasn't really been popular. And as we know, the stock market is a popularity contest. And after the bloodbath yesterday, Florida failing Amendment 3 and adult use legalization in the state, We also had bad earnings from TrueLeave and some of the MSOs. And then we'll see if Green Thumb can kind of offset some of that weakness after hours. It's the darling in the space and the leader for sure. So we'll take a look at that. Like I said, I'll try to get a video out on that. We can get a better feel for how the market's going to respond, especially in the sector. But MJ isn't set up as well if the broader market sees any kind of pullback in the S&P 500. Monthly bull flag 620. I said I think 600 is pretty much a guarantee. And today, if we just take a look at the S&P 500, we're at 595.56. So I've been saying this for many, many months now that I think SPY was going to hit somewhere around 600, 620. The monthly bull flag target 620 as well. So this looking like we could see the blow off top soon. But again, if we were to see a healthy higher low on SPY, that would not be good for MJ stocks. And then we also had the Kamala Harris not winning the presidency. That side of the aisle was saying we're going to legalize recreational MJ. And then also people just de-risking ahead of the Florida vote, right? That were traders and that were coming in, and then all this money that these MSOs kind of wasted as well. It was just a perfect storm, really, to see tons of downside. And a lot of these stocks had lots of upside as well, especially like a TrueLeave, right? It was up almost 400%. It was over 300% in the last, I think it was like 8 months or something like that. So it's still up considerably higher than what it was. But if we take a look at CGC on the daily time frame, not loving this. Something similar happened with TCNNF. TrueLeave. So we had a daily EMA 12 and 26 bear cross lining up into earnings, and then a massive crater and waterfall down. If we take a look though from the low, it hit 517 and we're currently at 770. So that was a trader's dream there. We're up 50% currently from where we are now versus the low of yesterday. So huge rebound there. But like I said, a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth because of this EMA 12 and 26 bear cross on TCNNF. And CGC has something similar lining up with an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross, and entirely possible that we come down. Next major level of support after the low of yesterday, which is sitting at 415, is down at 385. So I'm personally not feeling too good about this report. If I had to, kind of give my thoughts and opinions, I would say we're probably going to miss and see some downward momentum. Something I want to remind everybody as well is that Canopy Growth CEO David Klein is set to retire in March, and we don't know who is going to replace him. So we'll see who the successor is. But at the end of the day, I'm not too worried about the financials. I don't think we're going to see any insight into any of the CUSA entities, right? Canopy USA. It's going to be probably spring, if not summer. I'd say probably even fall by the time they close acreage. And then by the time we get insights into those financials that are deconsolidated away from the main Canopy Growth parent company, it's going to be a while. So I don't think there's any real major catalysts. We have rescheduling coming up. Really isn't going to fully kick into high gear until January, February. And we could see, banking, that type of thing, maybe in a lame duck session or early 2025 as part of a new administration. But I think, the new administration is going to be just fine. We did have a POW algo buy alert go off on CGC. It's looking good on the, medium to longer term, but in the short term here, still not looking too hot. We just had a death cross as well, and it's quite a ways away before we see a golden cross there on the daily time frame. We're still below all of our daily moving averages, all of our weekly moving averages. So we're very, very, very bearish on the short-term time frame here on the daily. But I wouldn't be surprised if we did see a little bit more weakness and a potential another leg down with this daily EMA 12 and 26 bear cross. Let's see how many other names in the sector. Yeah, Tilray already had its EMA 12. So again, how many other names have seen it already? SNDL's gearing up for one. High Tide gearing up for one. You got OGI already had its daily EMA 12 and 26 bear cross. So again, all of this is factoring in when we're looking at the CGC chart, right? How many other names in the space have already seen it? If we take a look at MSOS, ETF that tracks all the major ones in the US, already had it as well, right? So there's a very good chance, I would say, a strong majority, I would say probably, 70 to 80% chance that we're going to see that happen on CGC. And if we do see that daily EMA 12 and 26 bear cross follow through, then we'd more than likely be down around that 385, maybe even 350 area. So not looking great. Unfortunately, I wish I had more news, positive news. But like I said, we'll be watching. These are the numbers to be looking out for: 64.341 million Canadian in terms of revenue, and then negative 0.5015 Canadian in terms of earnings per share or EPS. But over the next few weeks, I think, call it the next few weeks, couple of months, I think we should start to round a bottom. And then we're going to see a lot of money rotate out of big tech and into small cap stocks. And I think, MJ is going to benefit from that as well. And then I think 2025, when big tech and crypto enters a bear market, sees its blow off top moment and enters a bear market, that's when I think we'll see some major reform and it'll be MJ in the spotlight for 2025 and beyond. And it could go on to become one of, if not one of the best performing sector over the next couple of years. But we'll continue to follow up on the earnings into tomorrow. I'll probably do an earnings review video as well on Canopy Growth tomorrow, and we'll dissect that. But like I said, not really too concerned about the earnings report until we get Canopy USA all sorted and acreage all solidified there, and then some insight into the financials of Canopy USA. And we'll see who the new CEO is incoming. I don't think there's a whole lot of real kind of attention that we need to pay in the short term here in terms of their earnings. I think it's going to be a few quarters before we really start to see. Yeah, it's probably going to be at least a year or two before we see any major profitability metrics as well being hit for Canopy, especially the Canadian side. So we'll end it there. There were some rumors as well that Tilray, Elevatix, I think was the name of the research firm in Europe. They said that Tilray could potentially acquire Canopy and Aurora's non-US assets. So we'll see what happens there. But you have to be ready for all scenarios, to be honest. All right. Let me know your thoughts and opinions you think they're going to miss. Beat in the comment section below. Always love hearing from you. It's Rod with Power Group. Thanks again for joining us in the pursuit of wealth, and we'll see you again on the next video.